This time we're going to look at mixed and improper fractions. But remember, when we count fractions, we could count all the way up to 10/10, which is a whole, but we can even go beyond that. So we might have 11/10. So we've got one whole and part of another whole. We could go 12/10, 13/10, and let's jump right up to 19/10. So it's not quite 2, but it's more than 1. So we can write that in two ways. It means the same thing. We can think of it as tenths. We've got 10/10 and another 9/10, so we've got 19/10. And the numerator is bigger than the denominator because we've got more than one whole. So that's our improper fraction, when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Now what about if we think of our 10/10 as a whole? Because it is. 10/10 is 1. So we've now got 1, but we've still got the 9/10. And that's called a mixed fraction. And the way I remember it is because it's mixed, it's made up of whole numbers and fractions. And the other one's improper. But they still both represent the same value. We've got 19/10, which is the same as 1 and 9/10. Now how can we compare them when we're looking at putting them in order, for example? Let's take our first fraction. Now it's got a numerator that's bigger than the denominator, so that's an improper fraction. We've got 11/5, so we're going to need 5/5 and another 5/5, that's 10, and one more fifth. So we've got 11/5. Our next fraction's also an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator, so we'll have 5/5 and another 3/5. Our final fraction is a mixed number. It's got one whole and it's got 4/5. Now that one whole is the same as 5/5, so we can rename that. Instead of 1 and 4/5, we can rename that to 9/5. So now we've got all improper fractions, and we can compare the numerators here, or you can look at the pictures. We want the smallest, so the one with the smallest shaded area, or the smallest numerator, is 8/5. So if we put that at the top, that's our smallest number. The next smallest is going to be 9/5. So we've moved the other one down and we put 9/5 in there. And now they're in order from smallest to largest. Now we're going to tackle that same problem a different way and then also use a number line. This time we're going to rename all of our fractions to mixed fractions. So 8/5 is the same as 1 and 3/5. 11/5 is the same as 2 and 1/5. So we've now got mixed fractions. From smallest, we're going to use the ones that have got a 1 in them first. So 1 and 3/5 and 1 and 4/5 are going to be smaller. And 3/5 is less than 4/5. So 2 and 1/5 is our biggest number. Let's move that out of the way. And 1 and 4/5 goes in there. So now they're in order from smallest to largest. But we can do it on a number line as well. We've got numbers from 1 up to 2 and a bit. So let's go up to 3. And because we're working with fifths, let's make each of the ticks a fifth. We don't need to have tenths for this one, but you could. Now 1 and 3/5 means it's 1 and 3 spaces along. 1 and 4/5 is going to be one more fifth along. It's a fifth bigger. And 2 and 1/5 means we're going to go 1/5 past 2. There we go. So now we can see from left to right, they're in order from smallest to largest.